boys and girls. Today we are going to learn about the zoo. Raise your hand if you've ever been to the zoo. I see a lot of you have. And there are all types of animals in the zoo. Some different than the farm, right? We have tigers and lions and koalas and kangaroos. We have monkeys and gorillas and a giraffe and a zebra. Oh, well, today in science, I'm going to read you a story about the field trip. Would like you to listen. Because Jake is going on a field trip today. Today's the day, thought Jake, as soon as he woke up. Today his class was going to the zoo. They all had to be at school at 8 o'clock. He and his mom arrived early. Mom and the other parents pinned name tags on the children while Mrs. Larson gave some instructions. Remember to listen and obey your teacher and have fun. Now let's line up to get on the bus. When they arrived at the zoo, each parent gathered his group together. Mrs. Larson gave the parents their tickets, a schedule, and a map. All right, boys and girls, let's go see the animals, said Mrs. Martin. She led her group to the zoo entrance. What does Mrs. Larson give her parents? She gave them 3 things. What does she give them? That's right, the tickets, a schedule, and a map. Good job. The schedule says the zookeepers will have the elephants outside for a show at 10 o'clock, said Mrs. Martin. Let's walk in that direction. We'll see some other animals along the way. What's that noise? Said Marcos. It sounds like a dog barking. Mrs. Martin turned toward the seal exhibit. That's not a dog, Marcos. It's a seal. Would you like to stop for a few minutes? The seals put on quite a show, diving into the water, barking, and slapping their flippers together. They're clapping for us, said Jake, giggling. What animal does Jake think are clapping for their group? That's right, a seal. They kind of sound like they're clapping when they're making noises. Some zookeepers tossed fish to the seals. Each seal leaped up eagerly and caught a fish in its mouth right out of the air. It sounds like the seals are hungry, said Marcos. They're barking for more. What do the seals do well? When the zookeepers throw something in the air, what do? That's right, they catch their fish in the mouths. It's almost 10 o'clock, said Mrs. Martin. We'd better move on so we can watch the elephant show. The children followed Mrs. Martin down the path to the elephant house. Look, said Jackson, there's a big bird on the path over there. Did he get out of his cage? Asked Tim. The group turned to look where Jackson was pointing. Just then, the bird spread his tail feathers so they looked like a giant fan. Jackson, that's a peacock, said Mrs. Martin. The peacock is showing off the feathers God gave him. It looks like the peacock has a lot of eyes on his feathers, said Jackson. And they're all looking right at us, said Marcos. What kind of bird do the children see? That's right, a peacock. And what is unusual about the peacock? It has something on their feathers. It had eyes it looked like eyes on its feathers. That's correct. Good job. Outside the elephant house was a large fenced area. Mrs. Martin and the children quickly joined the group they had begun to gather. She made sure the children were in front of her so they would be able to see. And at 10 o'clock, the doors of the elephant house opened, and the zookeepers led 2 large gray elephants toward the children. As the first elephant came close, Jake said to Marcos, I didn't know they were this big. Me neither, Marcos watched with his wide eyes. What surprises Jake about the elephants? That's right, they were so big. In person, elephants are so big. They don't look that big on TV, but they are so big. The zookeeper told the children all about the elephants. He explained how they cared for the elephants and what foods they would like to eat. He showed the crowd the hay in his hand, and then he held it out, and the elephant nearest him ate it. The elephant wrapped the end of his long trunk around the hay and then put it in his mouth. Another elephant used the trunk to spray himself with some water from a pail. Another elephant, and then the children, as they sprayed the kids too. The children in front squealed when some of the water landed on them. Finally, the zookeeper explained that the elephants could be trained to perform tricks. He called called out some commands to the elephants, and they hooked tails to trunks and walked in a circle. Then they rolled some huge tires around and made trumpeting sounds with their trunks. "This is fun," said Marcos. "Yeah, and this is only the beginning of the day," said Jake. Wow, Jake and Marcos and Mrs. Martin, they had a lot of fun at the zoo today. They got to see seals barking. They got to see, a beautiful peacock. I think that would have been my favorite. Looked like they had eyes on its tail feathers. And they got to see the elephants. Here's the picture of them. The elephants doing a trick with the tires, and then they would hook trunks and they would walk around together. That's pretty cool, huh? Here's Marcos, here's Jake, and here's Marcos and all the friends and Mrs. Martin at the zoo. That is pretty cool. What was your favorite animal? Was it the seals? Was it the peacocks? Or was it the elephants? Think about that. Let your mom and dads know which one was your favorite animal. I'd like to hear that too. So my favorite animal today was the peacocks. But we're going to be learning more about zoo animals this week, and I'm excited to learn them with you. Have a great day.